I'm going to read this as Gem Chaos. Asks us, what's the best combination of things to give someone if you want to convert them to fountain pens?
The best combination, I would say a cash basket and a link to gouletpens.com. I'm just kidding, but not really.
They can't use the cash for gouletpens.com.
No, actually, you'd have to deposit it and then all that. But, you know, I had to throw in a little Office reference in there for you, Drew.
Cash basket.
Cash basket. So for me, for personal gifts, I like to keep it simple. When I say personal gifts, I mean like friends, family members, that kind of stuff. Because I operate in the pen world. I have like business associates, things like that. So I'll call it like personal gifts versus professional gifts. So for personal gifts, it's more about like just making it easy for them to get into the writing experience, not necessarily going for something that looks particularly, you know, fancy or impressive. Pilot Varsity, I think, is a great option. It's already inked up. It's really pretty dummy proof. Even somebody that's just like not wanting anything to do with the maintenance and filling of a fountain pen, but they just want like to jump right to the good stuff, which is smooth flowing, nice writing, that kind of thing. I think the Pilot Varsity is a great way to go. I've even like backtracked into Pilot Varsities with family members who, you know, have gotten like a Pilot Metropolitan or something like that, and they just like, they don't clean it often enough, and they do something and it's just like too much hassle for them to kind of deal with. I'm like, okay, here's a Varsity, and they're like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, and I just buy them Varsities from then on out. So great kind of fallback option. I think the Gin House Sharks are a lot of fun. You can start with cartridges with those, or you can get into kind of the full bottle if they're into that. For my professional, you know, like gifting, if you will, again, I still keep it pretty reasonable. I'm not talking about anything crazy. But the TWSBI Eco, big fan of that one because it looks really nice. You get a lot of bang for the buck. You get to see kind of how the pen works. So for somebody that's newer to fountain pens, it's very easy to kind of understand how it's filling, how it's kind of working, because you can see all the components to it. And it just looks really crisp, really clean, and it functions really well. And then usually a bottle of Pilot Iroshizuku, because the bottle itself just looks really good. All the ink performs really well. If I'm, you know, I love Konpeki, so I'll often default to that as a gift item. But if I'm talking to, you know, we're in like the e-commerce space, I network with a lot of other business owners. So if I see that they have a company logo or some color theme to them, I will try to gift them a bottle of the closest thing to their kind of known color that they enjoy, or their brand color or something. And that's a nice little touch that they always appreciate. Just like if anybody ever gives me anything blue, I'm like, yay, you've seen any video I've ever done. And then I always try to give a Rhodia number 16 dot pad. It's just such a classic, great introduction. The format is perfect because everybody's familiar with that sort of size, like the legal pad type, you know, format of notebook. You tear it out, it's perforated, you know, you can use the dots or ignore them. You know, they're there if you need them, but they're not so intrusive like a lined paper would be, where you like feel forced to fit your handwriting into it. So, and the paper quality is just really, really good. So it's a nice introduction. So I will often couple the three of those together as like a sort of a gift set. How about you,
Very
Drew?
nice.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree with that. Those are solid choices. My suggestion is to make it easy and fun. So give them something that they can get excited about. Don't go all the way easy. Don't go all the way fun. A nice balance that does them both, because you want it to be accessible, but you also want them to recognize the fact that fountain pens are cool and they want to stick with it. My suggestion is the TWSBI Swipe. I think that one offers a range of ways you can use it. You can start off with just the cartridge, that big honking cartridge that it comes with. It's easy to use. Pop, you're good. And I think that going with a finer nib so that you can write on a more wide variety of paper, you don't even have to give them paper if you don't want to, if you go with one of the more fine nibs. And then if later they exhaust the cartridge, they can try the more traditional piston converter that comes with the pen. And then after that, if they want to get a little bit more crazy, they can go with the fun spring converter that pen has. Not only that, but and Brian's remembering all the wacky stuff that we did with those things.
Oh yeah, flinging it across the room and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing though is the presentation is really, really solid. Just like what Brian was talking about with the Eco. TWSBI, their branding, their marketing, and their packaging is just really, really stylish, and they don't they pay attention to everything. With the swipe, you get a sleeve that looks nice, that clamshell white plastic thing. Everything's in little baggies, very, very nicely presented. And then if you wanted to pair that with one of the new inks that we talked about at the beginning of the show, those are nicely packaged as well. Little frosted bottles with a translucent red cap with the logo there. The whole thing looks very well themed together. If you just want to get them that one pen and that one ink, that's, in my opinion, a perfect way to get somebody started. And everything's branded nicely together. It doesn't look like it's a hodgepodge of a bunch of different stuff that you found at different stores. I like that cohesion aspect of it, and I think that that's what I'm going to be doing for a couple people this year. The swipe really, really impressed me this year, and already I've got some thoughts on people I'm going to throw some at.
Nice. It's awesome. You know, I don't gift as many pens as I should to my family members. I mean,
at this point, I think you know who wants one and who doesn't.
I did it hard a while ago, and I kind of like either they got really into it or kind of exhausted everybody. Plus, with us and like our immediate family, I'm talking like obviously like my own children, but then we'll get them pens. But like, you know, my like sister and parents and, you know, Rachel's, you know, slightly extended family. I'm not talking like cousins and random stuff, but we like don't exchange gifts as adults. We're like, we'll get gifts for the kids, but we're like, we got enough going on with the young kids and all that. Like, can we just like not? And then none of us have to worry about that. So that's kind of more the route that we've gone. Maybe that's why I haven't given out as many, is because
I think that's pretty common.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've gotten there too. But I think that I'm thinking about, you know, like I think that I'm gonna get Archer's teacher one.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Yeah, very cool.